So we'll start with the prayers. Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are continuing our session of Bhagavad Gita. We are in the introduction section now. So far we have completed few number of pages. So we'll continue where we have left. So in the last class we understood about the five factors of the five subject matters which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So today we are continuing. People with less intelligence consider the supreme truth to be impersonal, but he is a transcendental person. And this is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam. As we are all individual living beings and have our individuality, the supreme absolute truth is also, in the ultimate issue, a person. And realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all of the transcendental features. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. The complete whole personality of Godhead has immense potencies. So here we are seeing those who consider the supreme truth, Paramasatya, as impersonal, they are considered as less intelligent. So their intelligence is limited. Such people think that the supreme absolute truth is impersonal. So there are three classes of people. One is atheists. So atheist means they don't believe in the existence of God or the supreme truth beyond what we are seeing. So they consider that it's all happening by chance, but they have no explanations for this huge cosmic manifestation. So they cannot answer from where this thing has come into existence. Such a huge chunk of matter, so many planets, so many stars, so much of water, air, space, such a huge thing exists. We are so tiny in front of the universe. So the atheist, they have no idea from where it has come into existence. And they give some theories which they cannot demonstrate. And next class of people who believe that there is something beyond this, from where this has come into existence, but they have no idea that it is coming from a person. They think they have got the idea of persons means limited persons. So we are all limited. So our all the abilities, capacities, they are all limited. So they imagine that it is not possible for such a huge cosmic manifestation to come from a person, and someone can be in the control of such a huge things which is going on. So they are called impersonalist. So they believe that there is something beyond this, but it cannot be a person. That is their thinking, that is their theory. And the devotees, those who have realized God, those who have personal realization of the supreme truth, beginning from Brahma and then in the disciplic succession. So they know that ultimately God is a person with unlimited potencies. Here Prabhupada is saying the complete whole personality of Godhead has immense potencies. So unless we understand that the God has got unlimited power, so we'll not be able to understand that he is a person. If we limit our thinking that person means like me, then they cannot understand that God can be a person. Just like here in our world itself, we can get some examples of some very, very big industrialists. They will have huge factories, some huge establishments. But ultimately, you see, the person is like normal like us. He's also like, no, he looks like us only. But he has got the capacity to build such a big empire and run it. But ultimately, he's a person like us. So materially, if it is possible for a common man to build such a worldwide empire, now we have got so many big industrialists. So they have worldwide operations, big factories or big establishment, big companies all over the world. So ultimately, the owner is one person. So if you think with reason and logic, and also it is backed by the Shastras and the Acharyas who have realized it, that ultimately it is a person who is behind all these things. And it is said in the Vedas, Upanishads, that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. So there is a distinction to clarify that he is not an ordinary person like us. So he is also Nitya, he is also eternal, as we are eternal. Among many Nityas, Nityanam, among many Nityas, he is also a Nitya, means eternal. Chetanas Chetananam, among many conscious beings, he is also a conscious being. But Eko Yaha Bahunam Vidadhati Kaman, but that one uh, supreme conscious being, supreme eternal being, he is fulfilling the desires of all other living entities. So that is the difference between the living entities, the jivas, and the supreme absolute truth or Paramasatya or the supreme personality of Godhead Krishna. So he is maintaining all other living entities. And one more logical answer to defy that God cannot be impersonal is that Prabhupada has mentioned here. The absolute truth must contain everything in our experience, and it should also have which is beyond our experience. Now, if you say the absolute truth is formless, then he is lacking a form. So then he is lacking something which is in our experience. In our experience, we see so many forms are there. And if we say that the absolute truth is formless, then he is lacking a form. Then he cannot be called as a complete whole. But to accept the absolute truth as a person, then person has got both. He has got a form also, and he has got his energies which are not having a form, just like money or properties or influence. So a person will have all these energies which may appear to be formless, but ultimately it is coming from a person who is having a form. So with any reason and logic, if we analyze, we cannot agree that the absolute truth can be impersonal without a form. Then he will be incomplete because he is lacking a form which we see in our experience. So then he cannot be called as complete. So this contradicts that the absolute truth is complete. So if we say is formless, it contradicts the statement that the absolute truth is complete in himself. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal, this phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation according to Sankhya philosophy are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and sustenance of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the supreme whole. And when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So, Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom. So, this one, Prabhupada is referring to one of the shlokas which comes in the Vedic literatures, which is Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. So that shloka describes the absolute truth as Purna, the complete. And Purnamadaha Purnamidam. So the supreme absolute truth is complete, and all his creations, they are also complete. So Prabhupada is giving the example here. This, if you take the example of this earth or this universe, it is complete in itself. It is running automatically. There is no shortage. If you take our body, it is complete. The whole system is available. How this body should be sustained, food intake, then how it gets converted into energy, how we function. So anything in this creation, we see that everything is complete. So Purnamadaha Purnamidam. So the supreme absolute truth is complete, and all is creation, that is also complete. And Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. And the speciality of the absolute truth, the supreme person, is that Purnasya Purnam Adaya. From that Purna, you take Purna. Whatever he has got, everything you take from him, but still he will remain full. So that is the mystic potency of Krishna, that he has got unlimited energies, and if you take out everything from Krishna, still Krishna remains full. If we have got some 1,000 rupees and somebody takes 1,000 rupees from me, or I give 1,000 rupees to somebody, then I have no money. But Krishna is not like that. He has got unlimited energies, and from him unlimited things are coming, but still he remains unlimited. So that is the special feature of God. Unless we accept that God has got these kind of inconceivable potencies, we will not be able to understand clearly what is God. So God means he must have these kind of inconceivable potencies which are beyond our ability to comprehend. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. But in the Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be a purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction. But indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. So, Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes. And Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. So, here importance of Vedic knowledge is mentioned, that how Vedic knowledge is infallible, or it is complete, it is free from defects. So, formerly, about say 50 years or 100 years ago, people living in this part of the world, India, formerly the whole planet was known as Bharatavarsha. If we go for just a history of say 200 or 300 years back, so the society was living according to the Vedic injunctions, Vedic principles, and they used to consider what is given in the Vedas as absolute truth. No questions asked in that. They will just follow what is given in the Vedic literatures. And here Prabhupada is giving an example of, sometimes even if it appears contradictory, people would still follow that. There is an injunction that if you touch a stool of any animal, then you have to take a bath to purify yourself. But there is also injunctions in the Vedas that cow dung or gobar, that if there is any place which is contaminated, by applying cow dung there or sprinkling water mixed with cow dung or cow urine, that place gets purified. So that is the Vedic injunction, and people would just simply follow that. And it is also proven. Hare Krishna, can you mute somebody's? Okay. So it is also proven by modern science that cow dung contains all kinds of antiseptic properties. So even if we validate with the modern science also, whatever injunctions are given in the Vedas, they are found to be correct. And that was the uh, practice of the followers of Vedic literatures, Vedic culture, that they would just follow what is given by the acharyas, what is given by the rishis in the Vedas as a complete truth, and they would get benefit out of it. They didn't have to go and research whether this is correct or not. Just follow it, and then you get the benefit of following those instructions. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down, as is stated in Bhagvadgita, by the parampara disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Sri Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. So Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Even if you do research, you will come to know that it is perfect. And on contrast to this Vedic knowledge, the modern knowledge, whatever we are acquiring and propagating, that is not perfect. And we have got experience of these things. Scientists, they come up with so many theories, so many propositions. And after a few years, they say that, so now we have discovered more things. And now this is currently, this is what we feel is the knowledge or the how things are working. Just like when we were studying in science, so there was a subject of about atomic models. So initially they proposed, some scientists few hundred or 50 decades ago, that atom is the smallest particle, and they taught that in schools, colleges for many years. And later on they discovered that no, atom is not the smallest. The atom also can be broken as proton and electron and neutrons, like that. And now they say that these are the smallest particles. But now they have understood that now they don't claim that what they are saying is the end of knowledge. They say this much we are able to discover, because based on their past experience in 100-200 years, whatever they claim, after a few years some scientist will come and he will discover some more things, and he will say no, this is like this. So the creation of Krishna is so mystical and complex. So the tiny living entities, they are trying to figure out how this is working, and they get bewildered. In the both the directions they get bewildered. One is go you a macro level, cosmic level. Then this planet is there, then solar system is there, then there are the galaxies there, then so many galaxies are there, then this whole universe is there. They have no idea how big the universe is, because they have got limited senses, imperfect senses, how long they can see, even with their instruments and all. Now normal vision, we cannot see beyond certain distance. And if there is a wall or something in between, I cannot see what is the other side. My hearing capacity is also limited. Even if they come up with some instruments and all, so how long they can, for what distance they can know. And that too, they will just blur way, they will see what is there in the other side. They cannot actually see, they just depend on some kind of signals, and they interpret those signals in certain way. And they say that, okay, maybe it is that, maybe it is that. It's all imagination. Maybe, no perfect knowledge that yes, this is like this. That is if you go to the macro level. Similarly, if you go down into the micro level, you break down, it becomes atoms, then it becomes proton, neutron, electrons, and they don't know whether they can be still broken down and something more they can discover. And also now the quantum uh, physics is there in that, whether it is a particle or a string. So much bewildering, even for the scientists also, this creation is so bewildering. And their knowledge is not perfect. Whatever they say today, maybe after 10 years, 20 years, they would have discovered something new, and then they will start telling this is what reality is. But Vedic knowledge is not like that. It is coming down right from the creation, from Brahma, and up to millions years have passed. It is as it is, without any change. And when we accept this as it is, then only we'll get the benefit of this Vedic knowledge. And if we interpret our own way, just like scientists are telling what is atom, what is electron, or what is this universe, if we interpret in our own way, that will be simply imperfect. So just if you have to, we have to accept it as it is, then we get the perfect knowledge and benefit of that. And that is demonstrated by Arjuna himself in the Bhagavad Gita, where he says that Sarvametad Ritam Manne Yanmam Vadasi Keshava. So whatever you are telling me, I accept this to be as complete truth. Everything, whatever you have said, I accept it as truth. And here Prabhupada is also mentioning that we should not take it that some portions I like from Bhagavad Gita, I will accept it. Some portion I don't like, so they will not accept it. So that is not the way of understanding Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita should be accepted incomplete as it is. That is called Ardha Kukkuti Nyaya. So Ardha Kukkuti Nyaya means hen. So front portion we have to feed. Back portion it will give egg which you can sell in the market and get some money. So back portion is profit or income and front portion is expense. So then I will say, no, I don't want the front portion. I have to spend money. I want only the back portion. I can earn some money out of it. So that is called Ardha Kukkuti Nyaya. So only I want the half portion of the kukkuti or the hen. I don't want the full hen. So that is not the way of accepting Vedic knowledge. We have to accept it in toto as it is without any interpretation coming down in the disciplic succession. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. So Vedas are very vast and we may not have time to go through everything and finally come to the conclusion what I'm supposed to do. So that information we can directly get from Bhagavad Gita, which is a very, very condensed form of all the knowledge of the Vedic literature, just 18 chapters, 700 shlokas. With that, we can get to know everything, the 5 subjects what we discussed, Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, Prakriti, and what we are supposed to do, what is the goal of life. Everything we can know just by reading Bhagavad Gita. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord himself. The words spoken by the Lord are different from words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected with 4 defects. A mundaner is sure to commit mistakes, is invariably illusioned, has a tendency to cheat others, and is limited by imperfect senses. With these 4 imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all-pervading knowledge. So, why we cannot depend on the knowledge given by a mundane worldly person or a conditioned soul or a Baddha Jiva, one who is not liberated. So we cannot depend on the knowledge given by him, especially when we want to know subjects, transcendental subject matter about what is the cause of everything, who is God, what is our purpose of our existence, what is the goal of life. These kind of knowledge we cannot receive from a worldly man who is himself is entangled in these worldly affairs. So this knowledge has to be taken from the Lord himself or his representatives who are free from these 4 defects. So conditioned souls are said to have 4 kind of defects. That is Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, Karna, Patava. So Brahma is we get illusion. Pramada is we commit mistakes. Karna Patava means our senses are limited. And Vipralipsa is a tendency to cheat others. So if we study ourselves or any person, we see that we all have these kind of defects, that we commit mistakes. If we look at our life, then we would have committed many mistakes. Even big personalities, big politicians, big scientists, they also have committed mistakes. Their actions are not always perfect. And we get illusioned. Sometimes we see a rope and we think that this is a snake. So that way, if we are having a tendency to get illusion, then we may see something and we may think that this is something else and tell other people that no, I saw a snake. But actually he didn't see a snake, it was a rope. So we have got this defect of getting illusioned. And we have got a defect of committing mistakes. So I may say something, then later on I'll say, no, it was a mistake. And has got a tendency to cheat others also. Sometimes knowingly also, we give misinformation or wrong information. So that is a tendency to cheat. Sometimes we cheat in the exams. So the conditioned soul has got these tendencies or these defects and limited by imperfect senses. And how do we gather knowledge? We gather knowledge from our senses, eyes, ears, sense of touch, sense of smell, sense of taste. So that is how, and our brain, our mind, intelligence, that is how we acquire knowledge. Now all of these, they have got limitations. Our eyes have got limitations. We can see only when there is light. If there is no light, Although I have got my eyes, I cannot see. That means my seeing is not independent. My seeing is not absolute. My seeing is dependent on light. If there is no light, I cannot see, although I have got eyes. And I cannot see the closest thing to my eyes, my eyelids. My eyelids are the closest to my eyes, I cannot see. And I cannot see something which is very far. So my seeing capacity is limited by so many conditions. Therefore, we are called conditioned souls. We can function under certain conditions. If there is no air, no oxygen, we will die. If there is no water, we will get dehydrated and die. So many conditions are there. We are not absolutely existing, that I am existing on my own. I am dependent on so many things. So, like that's all our senses. Our mind is limited, intelligence is limited, and our senses are limited. When we have so many limitations, how can I analyze this whole universe, whole existence, and give a conclusion that this is the purpose of this is how it has come into existence? I'm a limited being. Even the greatest scientist, he also has got the same limitations like us. So a limited person cannot give us complete or perfect knowledge. So for that, we have to depend on the perfect person who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. And we receive knowledge from him directly, the creator. Just like someone who has got this, created this laptop or a mobile. If you get the information from him about this laptop, everything, what is there inside it, how many chips are there, what chip does which work, how these keyboards are working, how this electricity is stored and how it is used, what is this display. So someone who has created, he can give us complete knowledge. I can go on imagining, maybe it is like this, maybe it is like that. It may be correct, it may not be correct. But when the creator tells you, this is how I have done it, then that knowledge is perfect. So knowledge about everything, about myself, about this existence, about God, we have to take it from the creator himself. Any knowledge we take from any person other than God or his representative, it will be imperfect. Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted unto the heart of Brahma, the first created living being. And Brahma in turn disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples as he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purnam, all perfect, and there is no possibility of his becoming subjected to the laws of material nature. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything in the universe and that he is the original creator, the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Prapitamaha because Brahma is addressed as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and he is the creator of the grandfather. So no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things which are set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance. So the Vedic knowledge has to be received from the perfect person, God himself, who gave this knowledge to Brahma, and Brahma in turn passed it on to his disciples and his sons. In that way, this knowledge is coming down. And if we can get this knowledge from the same disciplic succession, our knowledge also is perfect. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that Lord is the only proprietor of everything in this universe. So all cause of all the problems in this world is because everybody thinks that he is the proprietor of everything and he is the enjoyer of everything and he wants to encroach upon others. So that is the cause of all unrest, all the quarrels, battles, all the problems in this world. As soon as we accept that everything belongs to God, everything belongs to Krishna, and we should utilize only the things which are set aside by him for our maintenance, then all the problems will get solved. Because this consciousness is not there, God conscious is not there, there are a lot of quarrels and fights happening everywhere. It can be in individual level, in our families, in our offices, or at the international level or the universal level also. All the problems, whatever is there, it is all because of lack of God consciousness. If everybody becomes God conscious, then all the problems will be solved. And this place itself becomes like a Vaikuntha or the spiritual world. There are many examples given of how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Arjuna decided that he should not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. This was his own decision. Arjuna told the Lord that it was not possible for him to enjoy the kingdom after killing his own kinsmen. This decision was based on the body because he was thinking that the body was himself and that his bodily relations or expansions were his brothers, nephews, brothers-in-law, grandfathers, and so on. He was thinking in this way to satisfy his bodily demands. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view, and at the end, Arjuna decides to fight under the directions of the Lord. When he says, Karishye Vachanam Tava, I shall act according to thy word. So here, because of our misidentification with the body, we think that I am this body and everything connected with this body is mine or meant for my enjoyment, my pleasure. And Bhagavad Gita, the same situation where Arjuna was declining to fight, thinking that it will not be um very pleasing to his mind that he has to kill his own people and then enjoy the kingdom. It was not very pleasing to his mind. And that's why he was declining to fight. He thought that better let me go and live in the forest. So that will be more comfortable for me to my mind than killing my own people and uh, enjoying the kingdom after that. So this he was thinking in terms of his own happiness and distress, his own ideas of life, thinking that he is this body and all these are my relatives. And after understanding Bhagavad Gita, the same Arjuna, when he gets back his consciousness, Krishna consciousness, then he acts for the satisfaction of Krishna. And then he says, Karishye Vachanam Tava, I will do uh, whatever you say. So that is the change in consciousness. After going through Bhagavad Gita, one regains his original consciousness, which is Krishna consciousness. And right now, all our situation is same like Arjuna, where we are thinking that the way I live, what I want to do in my life, it's all based on our understanding of this world, understanding of life. But when we know Bhagavad Gita, then we get the actual goal of life. What should be the goal of my life? What I'm supposed to achieve in this life? Now we may have so many different kinds of ideas. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to achieve this. Bhagavad Gita gives us a clear direction, one clear roadmap. This is what you are supposed to do in this human form of life. And uh, without much, uh, giving up, no, I have to give up this, I have to give up that. No, we can live a normal life, but our consciousness changes and we get a clear goal of life. And then we live our life accordingly as a normal human beings, but our consciousness will change and we will have more clarity. We will know everything about what is this world, how it is functioning, why these things exist, and why different things are happening. Cause of everything will come to know why things are happening, why it is happening like this in our own life, in others' life. And you have a clear vision and you have a clear goal and a clear path and a clear process how to achieve that. So that is the outcome of studying and applying Bhagavad Gita in our life. In this world, man is not meant to toil like hogs. He must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life and refuse to act like an ordinary animal. The human being should realize the aim of his life, and this direction is given in all Vedic literatures, and the essence is given in Bhagavad Gita. Vedic literature is meant for human beings, not for animals. Animals can kill other living animals, and there is no question of sin on their part. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste, he must be responsible for breaking the laws of nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly explained that there are three kinds of activities according to the different modes of nature: the activities of goodness, of passion, and of ignorance. Similarly, there are three kinds of eatables also: eatables in goodness, passion, and ignorance. All of this is clearly described, and if we properly utilize the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then our whole life will become purified, and ultimately we will be able to reach the destination which is beyond this material sky. So human beings are not meant to live like animals. So what are the activities of the animals? So the Shastras describe after churning everything, there are only four things what animals are doing. That is Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, and Maithuna. That is Ahara is eating, Nidra is sleeping, and Bhaya is defending themselves against a lot of odds, against the nature, against other living entities, means they are struggling to exist. So that is Bhaya, or defending themselves, and Maithuna. So they are procreating, they are producing children. So these are the four things. When you churn everything, ultimately you get, this is the four things which animals is doing: Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, and Maithuna. And in the modern world, what the human beings are also taught, that you are also one of the animals. You are just little bit advanced animal, that's all. And you should also engage in only these four things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna. But human being is not like the animals. So what these four things are available, it is available for even the lower species. A human being is supposed to have a higher aim in life. He is supposed to ask questions. Who am I? Why I have been put into these kind of situations? Why there are tribulations? Why there are sufferings? What is the solution for all these sufferings? So this kind of inquiries, when they come, then they are actually called as human beings. Otherwise, they are just like animals in the human body. The mentality is that of animals only. Although human body is there, but that human consciousness is not developed. So only when this consciousness develops, then such a man is called a real human being. Otherwise, they are just like two-legged animals, living just like animals, indulging in only these four things. And we see sometimes, and especially in this age, Kali Yuga, many people, they indulge in killing of animals just for the satisfaction of their tongue. And Bhagavad Gita describes that uh, based on the modes Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, goodness, passion, and ignorance, a person will have different kinds of tendencies in his eating, in his activity, in his faith. All these things are uh, decided by what kind of modes a person is influenced. So mostly people are under the influence of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which are lower modes, passion and ignorance. And when one comes to the platform of goodness or Sattva Guna, only then one can start to see things as they are. So Sattva Guna is the platform of knowledge, and ignorance is complete ignorance. Tamoguna is complete ignorance, and passion is a lot of activity in ignorance, without knowing one's real self. Go on acting, go on very busy, very busy, very busy, but he does not know who is he and for what he is working, but always busy. So that is Rajoguna, passion. Ignorance means no interest, nothing in the life, no motivation, simply living like animals. And goodness means clarity, knowledge, prakasha, where you know who am I, what is the purpose of life, and activities are also based on this knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us to at least come to the platform of goodness, and then transcend this goodness, and also transcend this goodness also, and go beyond this goodness into Brahma Bhuta state, which is a transcendental state. And then living in that state, one can, after quitting this body, one can go to the transcendental world or the spiritual world, which is beyond this material sky. That destination is called the Sanatana sky, the eternal spiritual sky. In this material world, we find that everything is temporary. It comes into being, stays for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. That is the law of the material world, whether we use as an example this body or a piece of fruit or anything. But beyond this temporary world, there is another world which is of which we have information. This world consists of another nature, which is Sanatana, eternal. Jiva is also described as Sanatana, eternal, and the Lord is also described as Sanatana in the 11th chapter. We have an intimate relationship with the Lord, and because we are all qualitatively one, the Sanatana Dharma or sky, the Sanatana Supreme Personality, and the Sanatana living entities. The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatana occupation or Sanatana Dharma, which is the eternal occupation of the living entity. We are temporarily engaged in different activities, but all of these activities can be purified when we give up all these temporary activities and take up the activities which are prescribed by the Supreme Lord. That is called our pure life. So right now, all the living entities, they are um, engaged in impure life. So the pure life is when we are engaged according to our constitutional position. So our constitutional position is that we are eternal. God is also eternal. Our relationship also is eternal with God. And our activities should be based on this eternal relationship. So we should be engaging in the eternal activities. But right now we are engaged in some activities which are producing these temporary results. And we want to enjoy these temporary results. And meanwhile, while trying to do that, we commit lot of things which are forbidden, just like eating of animals and all those things. And then we have to also face the consequences of indulging in those sinful activities in the form of miseries in the future. So this life is a impure life, and the pure life is when we act according to our constitutional position in relationship with the eternal Lord. And that is described in the Bhagavad Gita. What is eternal activities, what is that eternal Dhamma, and who is that eternal personality of Godhead. All this information we get in Bhagavad Gita, and if we start living our life according to that, then we live a life of purity, sinless life. That will take us back to the spiritual world. And here, anything we see, it is having six transformations. Uh, it comes into existence, then it stays for some time, it produces some byproducts, then it starts deteriorating. At one point of time, it vanishes and then disappears. So you take anything in this world, our bodies or any other objects. So at one point of time, this body comes into existence, and then it starts growing, and it starts producing some byproducts, and then gradually it becomes old, then gradually the body is dead and gone, then it mixes with the matter from which it was created. So anything we take in this world, it undergoes this six transformation. It is called shad vikaras, six kinds of changes, any material object which undergoes. But the soul is called avikaryoyam. It doesn't undergo any kind of transformation, means it doesn't become old, it doesn't produces byproducts, it doesn't get destroyed, it doesn't take birth. So the soul is called avikaryoyam. It is avikara, which doesn't go undergo this kind of transformation. Any metal object you take, which that undergoes transformation. And the soul is also called as sanatana, which is eternal. Okay, so time up. Uh, can we have some discussion on what we understood today? So we started with that Vedic knowledge is infallible. So we discussed the example of how cow dung is accepted as pure based on the Vedic scriptures. Although there is an injunction that if anybody touches the stool of an animal, he has to take bath. But still, cow dung is used to purify because it is a Vedic injunction. So the Vedic injunctions are taken as they are without our interpretation. Okay, somebody would like to add some one or two striking points which is staying in their mind, which they can carry.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
So what I understood, Bhagavad Gita gives a clear vision, like a clear roadmap, so we
Yes,
can understand our aim of life.
yes,
So I understood this, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
yes, Mataji. Okay, anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, yes, please, one by one.
Manikanta, can I?
Yeah, yes, please.
By today class and as per Bhagavad Gita, I understand one thing. We have answer for any question in the world in Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
If, as you mentioned, in atom, we can divide that. Initially, one atom divide that, and there is something. It's science is only a question mark. Here we
Yes.
have everything here solution. I understand totally today those things. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thanks.
In Bhagavad Gita, one place Krishna says, Yajnatva na iha bhuyat anyat jnatavyam avashishyate. If you know this knowledge, nothing remains to be known. Everything else, everything you will come to know. Krishna tells in 4th chapter to Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhu. It was very interesting and messageable for all of us. Thanks.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Somebody was saying something.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This Bhagavad Gita also gives us it teaches us that we should not lead life like the animal life.
Yes.
We are much superior to animal.
Yes.
Because God has given us the intelligence. Even the animals
Yes.
have intelligence,
Yes.
but we have to use the intelligence in the right way to understand the Vedic knowledge and how to, since we are eternal and God is also eternal, and we have an eternal relationship with God. And what is our the Vedic knowledge also teaches us what is our goal in life, and it gives us a clear. It's like a map.
Yes.
And also there is 6 transformation. Like we come into existence, then we grow, and then we produce byproducts, and then we live for some time, and then we leave this body, and we go back to the matter from where we had come.
Yes. Very good, Mataji. Nicely
Hare Krishna
summarized.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Krishna, as per today's classes, what I have learned, Bhagavad Gita is the light of our life. It's teaching us what we need to do, what not to do, what is the difference between the human beings and animals. Like animals, what they following, what human beings need to be. More than that, what consciousness, Krishna consciousness or God consciousness need to be follow. What good things, what not good things, and these things all are teaching Bhagavad Gita to our life.
Yes, Mataji. Very good. Can somebody tell about the 4 defects of conditioned souls? The 4 defects what we discussed. Why we cannot depend on the knowledge received from ordinary people or the conditioned souls, but the jivas.
Hare
Our
Krishna
senses
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay, fine.
Our senses are
Yes.
imperfect.
Yeah.
Our
Those who have
senses,
already spoken can give the opportunity to others. Yes, Mataji.
our senses are imperfect. We have the tendency to cheat others.
Yes.
We are illusioned.
Yes.
Ability to commit mistakes.
Mistakes.
Thank you.
Yes. Hare Krishna. And our senses are imperfect. I think that also you said. Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa Karana Pata, it is called. Committing mistakes, tendency to cheat, getting illusioned, and imperfect senses. So that is the reason we cannot depend on a knowledge received from an imperfect person. Okay. Is there anything else? Okay, we discussed about Om Purnamada Purnamidam, how Krishna is complete and all his creation is also complete. Can somebody talk about it?
So Krishna is complete. Even if we take anything from Krishna, we can't take, because Krishna is the one who gives us everything. But though we take, still he will remain complete only.
Yes.
Purnasya Purnamidam.
Yes. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Yes, but this is not applicable to any other thing. Only Krishna holds this concept of completeness.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Then we also discussed that this Vedic literature, we should completely have complete belief on that. We need not question anything. Need not do any research on that. Completely we have to believe on that. that thing I learnt. And animals, they do eating, sleeping, mating, defending. That if we are also like that, we are also like animals only, but we have to question, wow, why I am in such a situation, why this miseries, and how to overcome. And we can take help from Bhagavad Gita, which has all the answers in it. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, very good. Okay, is there anything else? Why there are people quarreling and fighting in this world? What is the cause?
Lack of God consciousness.
Yes. Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining today. So we'll connect again. Message will be posted in the group about the next class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.